Kobe Bryant would have been 42 today. One of the greatest players of all time, one of the most influential superstars in NBA history. Kobe left a legacy that will always be remembered, and was truly an inspiration to a whole generation of people, both in and outside of the NBA. One of the things he's best known for was his trademark Mamba Mentality, which Kobe defines as a constant quest to find answers. It's that infinite curiosity to want to be better, to figure things out. Mamba Mentality is you're competing, you're not worried about the end result. You're not worried about what people may say. You're not worried about disappointing others. You're not worried about any of that. You're just focused on being in the moment. That's what Mamba Mentality truly is. What is up with everybody? My name is Luke, and in this video, I'm going to go over 8 of Kobe's most iconic Mamba Mentality moments. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 8. The gold medal game at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. This was Kobe's first ever Olympic Games, and this time, Team USA was on a mission. For context, in the 2004 Olympics, they lost to Argentina in the semifinals and had to settle for a bronze medal. Thus, the squad for Beijing, nicknamed the Redeem Team, was determined more than ever for the gold. The roster consisted of several young players, including LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, CP3, and Dwight Howard, with veterans Jason Kidd and Kobe leading the way. The young players said that they learned a lot from the way Kobe prepared and practiced for the Olympics. The gold medal game against Spain was the one that was quite close throughout, but Kobe's heroics helped the team to victory as he scored several clutch points in the final minutes of the fourth quarter to win the gold medal for the team. Number 7. Game 4 of the 2000 NBA Finals. This was Kobe's first ever finals, and the Lakers were up 2-1 heading into this one. He didn't play in Game 3 due to a sprained ankle, and the Pacers were able to take advantage of it. Kobe returned for Game 4, and he took over completely after the first half, scoring 22 points in the second half and overtime. With Shaq fouling out near the end, it was all Kobe from there. The Lakers were barely holding onto their lead, and Kobe nailed clutch shot after clutch shot to secure the win and give the Lakers a 3-1 lead. Teammate John Sally commented that, "The best thing about Kobe Bryant is he's going to be known as Kobe Bryant. A star is born, and he's the next one." Number 6. Versus the Warriors in 2013. This was the game where Kobe sadly tore his Achilles, and it effectively ended his career. As I'm sure many people remember, this season was a mess for the Lakers with a disastrous attempt at a super team, and they were still fighting for a playoff spot late into the season. For the entire year, Kobe willed the team to get into the playoffs, and this game was just another example of that. He scored 34 points and sustained a gruesome injury near the end of the game. People will recall that he still tried to be able to play with it, and sank 2 free throws walking off the court. This moment was memorable because Kobe played until he physically could not, and that's Mamba Mentality at its finest. Number 5. 62 points against the Dallas Mavericks. This game happened during what is considered to be Kobe's best individual season ever. For some extra context, one of the assistant coaches for Dallas at the time was Del Harris, who coached the Lakers for Kobe's first 2 seasons. During those years, Kobe was not a starter, and therefore he wanted to destroy Harris as revenge for not having faith in him before. And revenge he did get, as Kobe torched the Mavs in 3 quarters during what would become the franchise's best season at the time. The score at the end of the third was 95-61, and Kobe had 62 of those points. Dallas legit had no answer to the Mamba, who shot 18 for 31 from the field, including 4 for 10 on threes and 22 for 25 on the free throw line. He sat out the entire fourth in what would become a blowout victory for the Lakers. The determination that he had is what fueled this incredible performance. Number 4. 81 points. How could anybody forget this game? The second most points ever scored in a single game in NBA history, but arguably more impressive than the most points, which was by Wilt Chamberlain. For most of this one, the Lakers were losing to the Raptors, being down by more than 10 points for a good chunk of the game. At halftime, Kobe had 26, and then would go on to outscore the Raptors team in both the third and fourth quarters, 27-22 and 28-19 respectively. In fact, Kobe was responsible for all the points in the fourth, as there were only 3 other points scored, a 3 by Lamar Odom that the Mamba assisted on. He finished the game 28 for 46 from the field, 7 for 13 from 3, and 18 for 22 from the free throw line. But the iconic Mamba Mentality moment wasn't necessarily the points themselves, but rather his quote that he should have been better, saying, "I should have had 90 points or more." I missed 2 free throws after making 62 straight. I had some open looks. I had some really open looks that I missed. I could have had more. There's a lot of easy opportunities I missed. I think 100 is possible. I absolutely do. If I hadn't sat out those 6 minutes in the first half, maybe I would have had it. Number 3, the 2009-10 repeat. I'm kind of cheating here as this is technically 2 different moments, but whatever. As I'm sure many know, Kobe had won 3 rings as Shaq's sidekick earlier in the decade. What he needed to do was to prove that he could win as the main guy. After coming just short in the 2008 season to the longtime rival in the Celtics, Kobe was determined more than ever. In the 2008-9 season, one of my top 3 Kobe seasons ever, the Lakers would win 65 games and become the eventual NBA champions, with the Black Mamba winning his first Finals MVP and proving all his doubters wrong. The Mamba Mentality moment came after Game 2 of the Finals when he wasn't happy with the 2 elites, saying, "What's there to be happy about? Job's not finished." The next one was even more sweet, because it was against the Celtics. He stated that, "I remember when we were losing, they played that Journey song and the whole arena started singing. I hated that song for 2 years. I listened to that song every single day just to remind me of that feeling." After this repeat, Kobe was vindicated and showed the world that he had what it took to lead a championship team. Number 2, Kobe's final game. After Kobe tore his Achilles, he was not the same, struggling to stay healthy and was clearly a shell of his former self. But in his final game, he iconically went out with a bang, and was one of those moments where you're just like, the NBA is scripted, but it couldn't have been better. The Lakers were losing for most of the game, and Kobe was off to a rough start. But then he went on a tear, looking like the old Kobe that we all knew and loved. Honestly, this performance was so iconic, it kinda made the Warriors getting the 73 wins that same night look a little bit lame. The Lakers won this game, and Kobe got to say farewell in the most Kobe-esque way possible. And number 1, Kobe's clutch shots. If there's anything that Kobe embraced, it was certainly being in the moment. He was always willing to take that final shot, was willing to do whatever it took to win, and he certainly worked his butt off to be able to perform in crunch time. In his rookie season during the Western Conference semifinals against the Utah Jazz, Kobe airballed 3 potential game-winning and game-tying shots. As the story goes, when the Lakers returned to LA, Kobe would wake up every morning early and go shoot until dawn every day for that summer. All this hard work paid off as Kobe became one of the most clutch players we've ever seen. The Black Mamba has made over 35 game winners over his entire career. Of course, he missed a lot of shots as well, but Kobe was never afraid to shoot it. Some of his iconic game winners include the 3 against Miami, the game winner against Portland in the 2004 playoffs, the clutch shots against the Suns, the first one to force overtime, then the game winner in overtime, and many, many more. I could go on and on about how great he was in the clutch, but Kobe embodied the willingness to fail in order to improve, and the determination to make sure it didn't happen again. That is truly what Mamba Mentality was and always will be. Anyway, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications. What are your favorite Kobe Bryant Mamba Mentality moments? Please let me know. And happy birthday to the legend Kobe Bean Bryant. But with that, I'm out. See you guys next time.